It is official. Kawasaki and Jorge Prado have, I guess you can say, reached a settlement to part ways for the 2026 season. Now, if you missed or if you don't remember, he came over here switching from Red Bull KTM from MXGP to Monster Energy Kawasaki on a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And that's the last picture they're going to use of him. That's from the Raced Kawasaki Instagram with the release, whatever you want to call it, saying, quote, Kawasaki Motors Corp USA has reached a settlement for the early release of Jorge Prado from his Kawasaki rider agreement, effective October 16th, 2025. Kawasaki wishes the best for Jorge in his future endeavors, blah, 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 blah. You know that's not true. They don't care once you've gone from a team. They might say something like that because it's good PR, but they really want you just to fail wherever you go afterwards because, obviously. They continued to say Monster Energy Kawasaki is hard at work in preparation for the 2026 SMX Championship and will announce its 450 and 250 Supermoto racing team in early November. The Monster Energy blah 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 blah. So now we're on the waiting path. Obviously, with the main overarching rumor being that Chase Sexton is going to be going to the Kawasaki team. We're going to have to wait and see now. Obviously, what is it, October 10th as you're watching this. So a little over, 2-3 weeks before we get some news from them. And then also when the announcement is going to be of Jorge Prado going back to, going to the Red Bull KTM team over here. That's the other side of this rumor. And also, what's it going to be? Is it going to be an actual contract with them? Or is it going to be a incentive only, go out, win races, and we'll pay you that way? Who knows? Because supposedly Eli Tomac is going to be joining the KTM team. They already have Plessinger signed for next year. So Prado would be a 4th 450 guy. Now, you got to say, for all intents and purposes, Prado should be a podium to win and title contender. He should be. I mean, if you're looking at his resume and what he came over here signed with, I'm assuming the money he's getting and the hype he was involved around, he should be a guy that's up on podiums, fighting for, wins every single race, fighting for championships. The 6th that he finished in the outdoors isn't horrible. Obviously not what you'd expect from him or from a 2-time MXGP champion. And obviously Supercross was kind of a wash with it being his first year. You don't really expect him to be super good at it, being something he's not done in his career. And 2, the injury kind of made it a complete wash in general because the season's over. You miss, 2 or 3, 4 rounds with the shoulder. He's kind of irrelevant in a championship sense at that point. And you're not really going to come back from that, be at 100% racing these guys who are 5-6 races in. Who knows? I mean, he could go over to Red Bull KTM. He could be absolutely incredible and look like a world champion again. He could go over to Red Bull KTM and fail. I mean, obviously, these bikes have a little bit of a different rule set than the MXGP bikes. And again, Supercross, it's going to be another thing he hasn't done very much of, but we'll see where it falls. I guess he at least has a whole off season, depending on how long it takes him to get signed and riding a different bike. But he'll have a whole time for testing. It's not last year where he did MXGP and then had to come over here and learn quickly. You'd hope that he'd put a little more time into it, but who knows? I mean, obviously the PR with Kawasaki did not go very well. Him having to backtrack things that he said about just rolling around or cruising. People from the team calling him out saying that he quit obviously doesn't look very good for him. So you think this year is probably a big one. If he doesn't do well here or what other team he goes to, if he doesn't do well next year, it's going to be a problem for him. I think, it's one of those things of who's going to want to keep giving you rides. Are you going to stay over here? Are you going to go back over to MXGP? But then it's the same thing of people have watched you for the last 2 years kind of fail and quit. Who knows? But so I'm going to leave you guys. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Good move for Kawasaki. Where do you think he's going to end up? Do you think, KTM or whatever else? Whatever it is, comment down below. Tell me what you think. While you're down there, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Do all the fun things this platform allows you to do because it does really help me out, and I appreciate it. And with that, I'll see you later. Peace.